I've been good, man. Taking care of the family.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might come back. We'll see.
Yeah. You been offered anything?
Let me see. Offer anything like what?
Like a fight.
Man, I get offered stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Fights, shoes. I don't know. We'll see.
Charlo, and then I'll have Errol Spence.
So Errol Spence at 154, maybe 12 months from now.
Yeah, if he wants to come to the big boy division, and yeah.
It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight, and it's been so long, and the ring rust and the accident, the injuries. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten.
Errol Spence Jr. breaks his silence before stepping back into the ring against Tim Tszyu. He looks fully focused while training hard and staying determined to make a strong return and prove himself again in 2026.
Man, we working, man. We working. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't wake me up for my real.
Nah, bro. Nah. Hey, going on vacation, not running your running.
Errol Spence Jr. is set to make his return in 2026, putting an end to retirement rumors as he prepares for another fight and aims to prove he still belongs at the top.
And so it was for me to help him realize that. That was pretty crazy. For him to come back in the gym and me to be holding mitts and be looking at him, you know, you can't believe it. I think it's like the biggest comeback in professional sports. If you don't believe in yourself, why should I? And he believes in himself 1,000.
Errol Spence Jr. admitted that after his difficult defeat to Terence Crawford, many people urged him to walk away from boxing for good, but he refused to listen and stayed committed to proving that one loss would never define his career.
On social media said, if I come back, I'll be the shell of myself. You know, if he comes back, you know, he's gonna, but he probably not gonna come back. He's damaged. I just, you know, use it all as fuel. Some people can use it all and be not motivated and be like, and let that knock them down. I use it as fuel. I use it as motivation.
Tim Tszyu admits this fight has pushed him to another level. He says this challenge feels different from every bout he has had before and promises fans they will see a completely changed fighter when he steps into the ring with Errol Spence Jr.
See there in Spence that makes you feel that, hey, you know what, I think I can take this guy.
It's a fight that wakes me up, you know? Wakes me up. You know those fights that you'd be like a challenge? Like the Tony Harrison fight for me was like all right, I've got to wake up. This is the fight. And it brings something different in your brain, in your body. You learn more about yourself. You just become a different person, a different animal. And that's another fight that will bring a different animal in.
Paulai Malignaggi believes Tim Tszyu also needs a comeback of his own and says this is a fight that fans will want to watch because it fits both fighters' stories and has strong appeal for the boxing world.
Errol hasn't been busy. He's sort of needs a comeback fight himself. Tim needs a little bit of a comeback himself. He just had a small win over Velasquez. He's going to keep trying to work his way back in. So you look at the fight on paper and you think, this is a sellable, marketable fight. And, you know, between two guys who need to work their way back in. And, you know, the winner is two big names. So the winner obviously creates a real drawing power to himself again and works their way probably into a...
Andre Roger believes Errol Spence Jr. should stay away from boxing because of his injuries, accidents, and the damage his career has taken over the years. He feels the risks are greater than the rewards, even though Spence has worked hard to recover.
Tommy posts on like social media. He looks like he's in like terrific shape. Looks like he took those last 2.5 years to really just get it, like his body right, maybe his mind right, whatever. Do you think we can see another run from Spence at 54?
Honestly, this is only my opinion, nephew. You know how I am. I don't want to see Spence back in the ring. I think he went through so much with everything, the accidents and everything. It's time for him to let boxing go. That's my opinion. I don't want to see him get in the ring and at a higher weight and it's been so long and the ring rust and the accident, the injuries. I think he should stay on his ranch, enjoy what he has gotten, be a cowboy cattleman and call it.
Rosier said he does not want to see Spence return to the ring and believes the former champion should enjoy his life away from boxing, possibly spending time on his ranch instead of making another run at 154 pounds. He is concerned about ring rust, the dangers of competing at a higher weight, and the chance of suffering more damage. However, Rosier understands how hard it is for a fighter like Spence to walk away because the urge to return and prove he still has something left can be very strong. Still, his message remains clear: if Spence chooses to fight again, it should be a final farewell fight rather than the start of another long career comeback.
I mean, I assume it's got to be difficult for a guy of his stature and, you know, going out the way he did. I'm pretty sure he wants to get that get back and kind of show at least, you know, I do have a little bit left in the tank.
Well, it could be, but I'm just saying from the perspective of an individual, an athlete that has gone through so many trials and tribulations, I think at this point in time, it's not going to help him. If he wants to get a win and then call it a day, I could co-sign to that. But for him to think he's going to relaunch his career, especially at 54, I think that's not a good idea.
Kell Brook gave his honest opinion on the upcoming battle between Errol Spence Jr. and Tim Tszyu, calling it a thrilling and hard-to-predict matchup. Brook explained that both fighters have different strengths which could make the fight extremely competitive. He believes Spence still has the talent, experience and boxing IQ to compete at a high level despite spending a long time away from the ring. At the same time, Tsyu's constant pressure and strong desire to win could bring major challenges. Brook feels their styles will create exciting exchanges and deliver an entertaining fight for fans. In his view, this is a matchup that everyone should watch.
Last one before I let you go, a man that you have obviously fought, there was reports last night that apparently he'll be returning in the summer, Errol Spence Jr. versus Tim Tszyu. I mean, what do you make of that return? Obviously 3 years at the ring for himself. Just what do you make of his return?
You know, I'm excited as well. You know, I wish that I would have fought, you know, him back in the day, you know, but, you know, it's exciting. I met Tim Tszyu when I was in Australia, and it'll be interesting to see them two meet and lock on. So, you know, I'll be watching that, and I'll be excited to see, you know, the winner is. You know, you never know. You know, I could fight.
Pauli Malignaggi shared a careful and balanced opinion about a possible fight between Tim Tszyu and Errol Spence Jr. He explained that Tim is a PBC fighter in the United States and many fights like this happen between boxers under the same promotional company. That makes the matchup a logical business move at this point in their careers. However, Pauli admitted there are still many questions surrounding the fight. Spence has been out of action for a long time, and it feels like he has been away from competition for years. Because of this, nobody really knows what he still has left, both mentally and physically.
2 and 2 makes 4, right? You use your common sense. That Tim is a PBC guy in the States. These guys are PBC guys. You look for the correct possible matchup at this stage in their careers. You know, it starts to make sense, you know? So, you know,
How do you see it?
How do I see it? I don't know. I mean, Spence hasn't fought in decades, feels like, you know, even Charlo. So I don't know. How do you know what's left out of those guys mentally, physically? You don't know, you know? Obviously with Tim, there's a lot of question marks. He's just come back with a win, but at least Tim is trying to stay busy and active. With those guys, it's hard to say because you haven't seen them. You don't know how their training's going, if their training is even going, and how they are mentally and physically at this point in their life and their careers.
Tim's team copped a lot of criticism, his old team, should I say, about walking him into people like Fundora on short notice or Murtazalayev unknown or taking a rehydration clause on the IBF and things like.
Malignaggi also explained that Tszyu has some unanswered questions of his own, although he has remained active and recently picked up a victory. He said long periods of inactivity make it difficult to understand a fighter's true condition, preparation and mental state. He also brought up previous criticism of Tim's old team for making risky choices. In the end, Pauli believes putting him directly against Spence comes with a lot of uncertainty because neither fighter can be fully predicted at this moment.
Speak about him sitting on, but is it not just rewriting the books again?
With Spence, you don't know what's left. You know, he's not looked very good, so it might be one of those cases where you're catching him at the right time. But then again, Spence may feel that about Tszyu as well, right?
Yeah.
You might catch him at the right time. It's one of those things where the matchup makes sense because both guys might be catching one another at the right time, but you're going to get a winner out of the fight, and the winner can, you know, move on to possibly a title fight, you know? As far as the criticism for Tim and his team, there's going to be a lot of opinions, but the person that has skated the most criticism, that deserves the most criticism, is the ringside doctor.
Analysts observed that Errol Spence Jr. seems to have returned to training as he quietly prepares for a serious comeback. Rather than relying on official statements, the gym footage gives fans a clear look at his progress. A brief video shared by Iran Junkyard Dog Peterson in Philadelphia shows Spence calm and focused while inside the gym. The two speak casually as the camera captures the moment. One of Spence's gloves is wrapped and he appears lean, sharp and in good shape. His arms show clear definition with a slight layer of sweat suggesting he had just completed a workout. The scene feels genuine and gives fans confidence that his training has started and he is building strong consistency.
And it looks like he is back training, which I will get into in a second. You know what? I'll just show you right now. Why wait? I mean, why should we wait? So right off rip, this is a video from Iran, the Junkyard Dog Peterson. He is a fighter out of Philly. Terrible jump. Beautiful jump, right? If some people are like, what do you mean, beautiful John? What is it? Like, so, some of you guys, you don't know what I'm talking about. You got to be on Instagram. That's where I've seen it, right? You got to know. If you know, you know. And he looking in shape. So we'll play the video. It's not much to it. And I can't play the music for copyright reasons. But you see them conversating. And when you look at Errol Spence, pause, you can see he got like a little bit of sheen, like sweat, like he did some form of a workout. And the caption read like, "Till next time, my ninja," from Iran. So many people believe that the two sparred. That's just what it is. Now, if you know boxing, or if you don't know, I'll tell you, Ron has sparred with great...
Errol Spence Jr. has been seen training in Philadelphia as he continues to improve his skills and get ready for a possible fight with Tim Tszyu. The footage shows Spence calm but fully focused, moving with the confidence of a fighter working his way back after facing challenges. Observers have noticed his lean shape, strong physique, and the sweat showing that serious training is already in progress.
Telling you is this, Earl. You can listen to me or not. I remember we had a chance to buy up the Metropolis, the Dallas Metropolis, when you was on top of the world. You said, call me. I called you. Nothing happened. But that's besides the point. I know you got a lot of money. I know you got your farm, your, what they call it? You probably got a zoo by now, right? But here's the reality of this thing. If you fight Tim Tszyu for $2 to $3 million, listen to what I'm saying. This is what Vegas is telling me. If you fight Tim Tszyu and have to go to Australia, you've destroyed your brand. Literally destroyed your brand. Why did you destroy your brand? Because they need to come to Dallas to fight you so you get all the money. Do you understand? You got to rebuild yourself. You don't go chasing dollars when you can spend the next 3 or 4 years building your brand.
Some critics believe Spence could hurt his own brand if he travels overseas for a smaller payday. They argue that fighting in Dallas or Las Vegas would give him a better chance to maximize earnings and rebuild his name. Their message is simple: build your reputation first at home, then make bigger moves later. However, the training footage tells a different story. Spence appears focused, disciplined, and fully committed to showing that he still has more left to offer. Whether the fight happens in Dallas, Las Vegas, or another country, his comeback journey is already underway.
The third fight can be Keith Thurman. The third fight can be Fondora. The third fight can be whoever you want it to be. But you will not have any market value going to Australia and getting a guaranteed purse. You need to bet on yourself. Fight somebody who's 27-3, never been knocked out, 14 knockouts, and has been in the ring with a champion. That's what you need to do at 154. But what do I know? I'm crazy, I'm delusional, and yet I'm the one who's right. I end up being right every time.
This is a very difficult fight to take, especially for a fighter returning after almost 3 years away from the ring. Errol Spence Jr. has not competed since his last fight against Terence Crawford, where he suffered a dominant defeat that created doubts about his condition and future. Long breaks can affect a boxer's timing, speed, confidence, and overall sharpness. Coming back against a strong and motivated opponent like Tim Tszyu is a major challenge. Instead of choosing an easier comeback fight, Spence seems prepared to face a serious threat right away. That decision shows his confidence, determination, and belief in his own abilities.
Spence should stay out of boxing. My concern is definitely not Tim Tszyu, in my humble opinion. I know if he comes back to the ring, he's going to wash him. But what it is he going to continue right after that fight? Is he going to proceed facing elite fighters at 154? Fundora, who is a 154-pound champion. Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. Does he still have that championship mentality? Mind you guys, he's coming off of a 3-year layoff, especially coming off of a devastating loss with Crawford. And to add salt to the wound, the whole car accident thing, which a lot of people want to use as an excuse for the Crawford fight. I also agree too.
Sean Porter recently gave his thoughts on Errol Spence Jr.'s possible comeback, explaining that many fighters reach a point where they still want major fights and big paydays even when they are no longer performing at their best level. Porter compared Spence's situation with Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia, who also dealt with injuries but continued searching for big opportunities without fully proving themselves against elite opponents. He believes Spence could be looking for a similar path by securing a major payday while finding out where he stands when he steps back into the ring.
In the rumblings of a Fundora, when I think fighters get to a point where they want this, but they haven't been performing there. And I think that might be the case with Errol Spence Jr. Certainly was the case in my opinion, with Keith Thurman and also with Danny Garcia. I feel, even though they did battle injuries, I felt another big part of that was they wanted big pay against lower opponent. They didn't want to come back and get big pay against a big opponent. It's a part of the game. And I got a feeling that that's what Errol's looking at right now. I think Errol's looking at how can I, get the money that I'm used to getting. And, for the sake of words, he's got to get his feet wet again. He's got to see how he feels and, game night.
Porter highlighted the remaining doubts around Spence, including his lack of a trainer and questions about whether he is fully prepared for a return. However, he also acknowledged that money can be a powerful reason for fighters to step back into the ring. Despite the concerns, Porter said he would still support Spence's comeback because the way he continued fighting against Terence Crawford showed his toughness and determination. Porter concluded that Spence is not the type of fighter who will simply walk away after a setback.
There's a lot of things lingering right now with Errol. I'm not sure if he makes a comeback. This, unfortunately, is the one thing that I do know. Most fighters walk away until they have to come back, and usually it's the finance situation that brings them back. Certainly hope that doesn't end up being the case with Errol. If I had to bet on it right now, I would bet that Errol makes a comeback. I would bet that Errol makes a comeback because what we saw from him in his last match against Terence Crawford, that was just how that fight went. But at the end of the day, and we can tell by how he kept getting up, that ain't who he is. And he ain't going out like that. So that being said, I guess I said a whole lot. Yeah, Errol comes back. If Errol don't come back, then that, to me, that means he's good with where he's at. And like I always say, if you good...
Errol Spence is returning after a brutal and career-changing loss to Terence "Bud" Crawford in the biggest fight of his career for the undisputed title. For the first time, he was knocked down 3 times and experienced a defeat that affected his confidence and momentum. Adding to the challenges, he no longer has the same trainer who guided him throughout his entire career. He also went through a serious car accident and several eye surgeries, which placed more physical pressure on his body. There are many signs of damage and wear surrounding Spence at this stage. Now he has teamed up with a boxing legend and Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr., who is working with him in Dallas to understand what Spence still has left. While Jones brings incredible knowledge and experience, his unique fighting style is difficult to teach, making this partnership both uncertain and interesting.